all, and welcome back to another thrilling episode of Off the Dome. I'm your humble interviewer, Jordan Brennan. With me, as always, is our Divine DM. Say hi, Divine DM.
Hi, Divine DM.
Aabria! It's so good to see
Jordan.
you.
Jordan, how you doing, boo?
So good to see you. This is exciting because last time we talked, a year ago, it started with you yelling at me immediately.
Yes.
And
I have to change the energy every time.
Yeah.
If you know what you're getting out of your nemesis, I just don't want our relationship to go like stale.
That's really fair.
Yeah.
Are you ready for my wild first question?
Yes.
If 18-year-old Aabria had 3 wishes, what would they be?
Wish 1. This is very fun. Like 18, like right when I turned 18?
I don't know.
Point?
There is a correct answer to this.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
I have
what do you mean? Wait, how is there a correct answer? What?
I have the correct answer.
I hate whatever we've created in the club today. It's already bad. Okay. 1. Boy, I wish I had a friend named Jordan who is somewhere else in the Midwest or some other part of America, perhaps, so we could be best friends.
Really close.
Okay.
Number 1 was Coach Rita's 42-inch vertical.
Yeah, if I had Rita Buck Crockett's 42-inch vertical, I'd never roll a die in my life.
Yeah. I
would just be doing that forever.
Ready for, do you have number 2 or number 3? Number 3, I feel like, is something you might still say. Number 2 is wild.
Go.
Number 2, a really warm jacket, because I heard it gets a little cold out here.
We solved that problem. I just cried a lot on the way to do it because I didn't understand how cold was.
Yeah. We can talk. And then number 3 was world peace. So like really all over the place.
Okay, my third one was going to be if every day could be Halloween, and then I forgot about world peace.
Yeah,
so
I think every day Halloween would also be world peace.
I think so too.
Look, as someone who spent many a winter in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, because I had family there, it's like people don't understand what cold is. Like they don't get it.
Cold is different. It like blows down from the North Pole, smelling like cinnamon and whatever I think the TV show The Terror smelled like the whole time. Just sad, adventurous British people dying in the tundra. Yeah, it's built different, and no one prepared. No one prepared.
Like, yeah, you can't prepare for -20. It's just not possible. You can't.
The worst was -42, and I just stood inside the door going, I don't understand. You have to explain it.
Yeah, because people are like
increasingly louder.
People's brains are like, well, cold is cold. It's like, no. Imagine 80 to 40, and then 40 to 0, and then another 40.
There's another one.
Yeah.
The dumbest thing that happened was, so again, I shouldn't have been roommates with the other one from California because we were just like bad guys enabling each other. And we both snapped off a little bit of our hair on the same day because we didn't know that hair will freeze very quickly when it's very cold. And I snapped off the bottom of a braid. Like, I didn't know it could do that.
That's horrifying. Yeah.
I screamed. Screamed like it hurt.
Oh, delightful.
Yay.
We're coming off the end of MisMag 3, or MisMag 2, excuse me.
Okay, spoilers.
Yeah.
You know what we were doing in the club.
Here's my big question for you. You thought it was going to be 10 episodes long.
Yes.
And the 11th episode was 3 hours and 15 minutes. What the fuck were you thinking?
I was like, I bet this will go super fast. And then something possessed me on the day. And I was like, we're not going to leave till everyone goes to therapy. And I don't care how long it takes.
Yeah.
And it was 3 hours and 15 minutes.
I was so stunned when I started the episode. And I was like, 3 hours? This was a bonus episode. This was unplanned.
It's just so funny. Like, I think a thing that's actually real in like TTRPGs is like the need for more time in the ending in a way that isn't like the last thing, finale part 1 and part 2. There's something about just like having to bring it all together at the end. Like they always just they need that little extra. And it is very funny to like live in Dimension 20 world where you're like 3 hours. Could you imagine? And you're like, that's the most efficient episode of Critical Role that's come out in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
They were on it.
Yes.
3 hours.
Yeah. I will say, like, you did really bring it home beautifully.
Hey, thanks.
Magic is real point to the camera. How dare you? It was too good. Like, I was upset. It was so good.
Yeah.
Did,
We can talk a little bit about like the fact that there was an 11th. So episode 10, there's stuff that wasn't shown. Obviously, it's not very much, but we kind of got to the end of it and going back over all the things I wanted to make sure got done in 10 on top of maybe the craziest adventure to Miss Grow that I did not know was going to go down quite like that. Oh, Clint. I was like, oh, he'll come up at some point. That will be fun. Wow, that was worse than my little brain imagined it. Delightful. We're not going to rip cord out of this quickly. But we got to the end. And because so much of the theme of this was, if we talk about like reclaiming narratives and things that are found problematic and like figuring out what you keep from it sort of internally and moving forward so you don't feel an overabundance of nostalgia for it in the past. For me, the thing that I liked about Harry Potter was that sense of like an isekai, and you go into this world and magic is real, and you have to like, part of the joy of the like found family trope is like, we're all here together trying to figure out what any of this is. So in the effort to like rebuild that sentiment into the new season by breaking all of the magic in the world and saying like, hey, now no one's an expert, but if anyone is, you're closer to it because you knew the old form well, and you're not overly beholden to it. Like, you're adaptable and you learned the thing previously. You guys are now experts where you were neophytes in the first season. Go figure out the new rules and like codify them, and that's the game. I just wanted a little more time to really like bring that home and go through the steps. So we talked about it a little bit after we finished 10. Like, we finished at 10 and it was an excellent season. And then everyone had the little like, we could do one more. We could do one more, right? Like, all the stuff's still there. And then it ended up coming together and ended up being this really good like opportunity to go like, now the framing of this like final episode can take us through like all 5 things. It can take us through like the epilogues that we all want, like we want to see, but we can try to like push them into the narrative by doing the sets and skits and sketches like on Britain's Got Magic. And it was a way to like just get one more shot at like, let's say this out loud all together. Let's cast this one big spell and talk about how like the whole season is the casting of the spell. It's the fact that like magic does require time and sacrifice, and like, what are you going to put into it? And getting the opportunity to say out loud, like, you guys have done it. That's it. Everyone out here, we've gone on a reclamation journey together, and wherever you go from here on, this is the beginning of like where you guys can take it and run with it. And you don't have to look back at us to continue to model like perfect or perfect adjacent storytelling in order for you to feel good about it. Start telling your own stories. That's the next step. Like, keep the things that can be kept, put down the things that can't be, like, that cannot be carried into the future, and then tell new stories and like tell the stories that you want to tell. So it was a very fun opportunity to do that, and I've just been talking for like 10 minutes. I'm so sorry. I will shut up.
I talked to Brennan like 2 weeks ago. You think you talk more than him? Speaking of, though, it's gotta be helpful to have an executive producer sitting at the table, because saying we need an extra episode is wild for television. And it's that fun. Like, everyone was just like, okie doke, we'll pay the crew for another episode. Here we go.
It's very nice. Like, I do genuinely, with all of my heart, love that everyone at D20 and everyone at Dropout is so game. They're like, if we can make this happen, we will make it happen. And then I live in my little world of like, no one says the money words to me. Hologram? I can't believe we talked about the hologram in the making of. I was like, everyone shut up. I know that was crazy when I said it, but we don't have to keep talking about it. But we did try very hard to see like what kind of practical sort of like magic we could create in the dome, so that sense of like discovering magic could be felt by the audience as the like players themselves like interacted with it. And then I realized I'm not good at close-up magic, so we weren't going to be doing like little like things happening. It's great. Everyone was so supportive, and we all came back together, and it felt like coming back after graduation and being like, oh, one more, let's go. All right.
It worked also like a beautiful little like crew adventuring party. Like it
Yeah.
was super fun. We got like deeply philosophical with Denise, like wildly like
Denise is
beautiful.
the best.
Yeah.
Ugh.
When you went into the makeup chair, did you have looks, or did you just be like, "Hey, go nuts"? Like, how was?
We talk like, so Denise is also one of my like very, very, very good friends. So like as we're spinning up the season, like we're talking and trading like TikToks and like Pinterest boards. So like the conversation begins very early between the two of us. But by the time we get there on the day, like Denise understands generally what I'm shooting for. And then I just go like, whatever you want to do from here, I do trust. And the only like input I'll have is like, if it's a glasses day or not, where I'm like, okay, if there's like a little tell, if there's like certain bits of lore that I'm like usually first episodes and final episodes of seasons, depending on how lore heavy they are, I'll have my glasses on because like that's when I'm like, oh, I gotta like check a thing and I should be able to see it at a glance instead of going, hold on, we're gonna have to cut this out, and then I scroll for like 2 minutes and go check so I pronounce the thing right. So yeah, but yeah, on glasses no glasses, that's all her, and it always slaps so much, even when I'm a little scared about it.
Oh, so good. You mad that Brennan very clearly stole all of your looks for Dungeons and Drag Queen season 2?
I don't like that he like, I'm fine with that he stole it. I just hate that he had that in his heart, and something about me could not bring that. Like, how am I not cunty enough to like draw that out of you? It's infuriating. I'm like, oh, so it takes four bitches.
Yeah.
Got it. But I got to jump in and like peek in on set during one of the days, and you have to know that when the first time I saw Bob's like braided
Maleficent
horns,
hair, yes.
Oh my god, I screamed so loud, like talked to them all and was like, these horns are changing things about me, I have to like do things in new seasons. Kevin runs over, he's like, please don't, we can't the framing,
yeah,
Aabria, the framing.
That was my first thought when I saw them. What the horns? I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Kevin! Oh no!"
Yep.
In the screenshot I have, the microphone is like the boom mic is next to Bob's horns, and I was like, "Oh,
Bob
what a nightmare!"
Is not a little. She ain't tiny, so right. Like, yeah, it's in there, and it was just so funny. Kevin being like, "It's very cool, and I love art. Please don't do that. Too tall, too big. It's too big. Please don't." Super fair.
Look, as someone who's been in your comment section because you exclusively make videos making fun
just
of me.
Just for you.
Yeah. Why would you encourage more people to call you mother or mommy? What were you thinking?
That's not my fault. Erica offered it. I just will die of a bit. It's the fact that like I need you all to know that there is no timing edit for how quickly Erica said that. It was on their heart as we began. And I was like, well, time to make, I could see how much Lou was like, don't do this bit. And I was like, well, now I have to. I can never pull back because you specifically hate it. Done. It's this forever. And I like it. Everyone has to call me mommy. To my face when you see me in person.
Oh no.
I want this.
Boy. Yeah, because I've seen the comments, just so many. Oh, just the word mother.
Yeah. It is very funny. Like at some point you're like, I can't tell. My brain doesn't know what to do with this. Like I've watched the interview with you and Brennan, and like that discussion of like the level at which you're like, oh, I am known but do not know others who like can remark upon me with familiarity. And there's something about like when there's a bit that goes out in the group, something about that makes me really happy, because like at least our shared moment, like you can say my name with perfect familiarity and I'll turn and be like, someone I know. Okay, I don't know you, but like let's have this interaction. But if we have a bit in common, that like for me that feels like it immediately bridges the gap. So like, yeah, I would rather you yell, I know this is gonna get clipped out of context, I know it. Okay, be brave. I would rather if you see me in the wild, yell out mother to get my attention. Mother, mommy, some version of that, before you would say my name. I respond to that, and I think it makes me stronger. So, preference, stated, a desire. Do with that what you will.
I was trying to hold it together so that I can clip just that part.
You're going to get so many texts from me about like how much I regret it.
I refuse to edit it out. It's the only time that anyone will ever ask me to edit something from an interview, and I'll say no.
No. Just do Taylor's no from the next room. It's our favorite. Taylor, clip this out. No. It's always a little too long. You're like, what were you considering? I guess I like that.
Yeah. Taylor, come on. So talented. He's so nice
good.
too.
The nicest human. This year's been really fun because it's the first time I actually got to play in like little games with Taylor. So the DC-20 playtest that we did at Gen Con was my first time ever actually playing with Taylor. And like obviously he's excellent. Like he's an improv kid and like so good at story and so funny. And yeah, I had 2 really fun opportunities to like play games with him this year. And I was like, oh shoot, this sucks because you're talented and you're nice and you're funny and you're fun to like be at a table with too. What is your flaw? And I know what it is now.
Oh.
So I'll destroy him, but not until the portents.
Yeah.
The omens. Like I get those omens right.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, I don't know what we because he and I also text now, which is delightful. And I could texted something about whatever, and he was like, "Yeah, how's it going?" And I was like, "Oh, the whole family is sick because my son's 3 and in preschool, so we're sick every week." And like 2 days later, he just texted and was like, "Hey, how's the family doing?" Just like, not like I hadn't like been like, how could you do this to me? Which is normally the normal text that I send.
Yeah. Also, same when we get those finals, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
my heart. Yes. Why are you like this?
It's so beautiful. A perfect transition. Into Suvi, our dear beloved,
our little guy. She's doing great.
She's doing so good. I'm so excited for Suvi's worst day coming so soon, I'm sure.
I am laughing very hard that like dropping that little hint. And I remember when we said it, like we finished up that fireside and we're like, should we leave that in? Will that like stress out fans? And I was like, no, I want to see them spin out because the way I roll any day, any given Sunday is Suvi's worst day if you go by the rules. So yeah, it's coming, but I'm very excited because I think it's a little different than people expect. And what like I hope that it is a little like illuminating what I consider Suvi's worst day to be versus like what I think everyone expects it to be, which is
very fun.
Violence.
Yeah. Violence is her standard day, so
that's a Tuesday. Sometimes you have to go out and be like, "Am I going to kill horses?" This last episode was so funny. Rude?
So good.
Is one of the horses kind of racist, or has like a weird thing about mares? I don't know. I don't know how to pick. I don't know. That was the funniest session because like Eric is like bopping and having cute cute, but like they're fraught, but they're like big conversations all over the place, and Ursulon's like going through it with a capital T, and Suvi's just walking around going, I've tried several times to find food. This is not working. And I guess I'm just Hamilton now, like just yelling, we have resorted to eating our horses. What are the nice ones? Let those ones go.
Yeah, obviously not the one, Ursulon, that you love dearly, but what about the other ones? Can you eat them?
Is there like one bad one? Can you get Rahoan to like, I don't know, snitch a little bit?
Oh, so good. Speaking of Hamilton, you know I have the Patreon and people ask questions. Someone was ask her about her Broadway debut, and I was like, it's off Broadway. I will not give my nemesis this credit.
So rude. You could just like say it real quiet.
Yeah.
Broadway.
Yeah.
I kind of cough through it. All right. How was
turning
it? A corner on you.
How was all of 20-sided Tavern, and specifically how was Smooch and Erica?
Delight. The culmination of years of friendship and longing and dreams. 20-Sided Tavern is so fun, and I had such a good time. I got injured the first night of my run, and that didn't make me like it one iota less. And I think that's like a testament to like how kind everyone was, and how everyone's just like, oh yeah, if you have to like cancel the run and come back later, I was like, I'm fine. Look, one of them is an old lady, so I think on bad knee days, maybe we just hope that Ethel gets picked, and then all the slow that she's going isn't acting. I don't know how to act. So that's just me feeling actually old on stage with a bunch of like 20-year-old gymnasts.
The worst.
The worst people. But it was so fun. I think everyone there. And then getting to do like the double show with Erica, and we like sold out the theater, and then got to that point where we were like, are we gonna smash? I mean, we got it, right? Like, okay, cool. And it was a very fun moment. And I didn't realize till later, and some like fans were mentioning it. They're like, oh yeah, Abria's wearing blue and Avi's wearing red, or Erica's wearing red. It's very Suvi and Ame coded. And I was like, y'all will like summon glass heart content out of the ether. It's like Katara like taking moisture from the air. Like, okay, you are sweat bending right now.
Tumblr's gonna Tumblr.
Tumblr's gonna Tumblr, and that's why that's why we do it for the girlies. They're out here, they work hard.
Yeah. Oh man, one of my favorite conversations in any fireside is when you and Erica had to be like, look, Suvi and Ame are not going to date. We have a third cast member.
Yes, he's here. He's already sad. What are we gonna do? That's crazy. I loved having that conversation on mic, because we've talked about it like during camps and things, and like, yeah, we know what we're putting down. Like, there's like little hints at what does this friendship mean? What does true friend mean? What does it mean to have people who like know you in a different way from the rest of the world? And when you are young, how easy is it for like some of those feelings of closeness? Like, do you do like, we are family, or we are in love? And like something about being very young, and you're like, I don't know how to place what true friend means in my heart as I'm trying to sort between like different kinds of love. But yeah, the idea that if we just like fully like spontaneously started dating, Ursulon would just jump into the man in black's arms and exit the narrative. You'd be like, oh, well, there he goes.
It's just Lou having his own scenes with Brennan, and then you and Erica have a separate show.
And that's what the Horny Corner is for.
Exactly. Oh man. Whatever. Oh, and you guys did your little special fireside in the like. It's not called a bussin', but it's the only thing I can think of, because I can't remember what the actual name of the episode is now, because Brennan broke my brain.
He said that, and I like. The mic is turned down. I laughed too hard and too long at that. I was like, okay, you hard committed. I don't know what any of the fireside. Oh, it's Abyssin, but like I don't know what the fireside for that one was called.
But the fireside when Abyssin was on delay.
Was like our weird
like
little extra.
Yeah. Someone there was like submit questions, and I put in something for the Horny Corner, and then called you a coward for not reading it.
As you are wont to do. But you have to know that the Horny Corner requires being able to sense in the moment how comfortable Lou and Brennan are, and feeling a deep and like unwavering desire. Like first Eric and I like mind meld on it, and then we go like, do we obliterate their peace? Yes. Time to tell them information they can't take back. Let's go.
I mean, to be fair, this time though, Brennan on board, because he can win the Horny Corner. And
once you make it winnable.
So also, good God, Lou couldn't have been more wrong. That isn't a conventionally attractive horse.
Thank you. Every time I've said that, everyone else agrees. It's actually very funny. Speaking of sort of 12-sided or 20-sided tavern and like everything happening now, there's an episode of Ale and Well Met, their like internal podcast, that was like, well, we want to do like a holiday Hear Me Out. And we started talking about the claymation Donner, Rudolph's dad, in the claymation like Rudolph, I think it's like Rudolph Shiny New Year, which one of those, and that was someone's like Hear Me Out, and I was like, okay, so I guess I have to explain conventionally fuckable reindeer to you. And that's the name of that episode too, and I'm like, we have a franchise.
I will say I did The point of the thing was that like I didn't actually feel bad because like I'm one of a handful of people who could actually ask Horner Corner questions to you and other members of the cast. So
Yeah,
like, I guess it's fair if you skip mine. But
we're keeping them for a more appropriate time. Like
yeah.
if Lou and Brennan look like they're on the back foot and they're expecting it even a little bit, you're like, no.
Yeah.
It's got to be very special. It's tactical.
I did a Hear Me Out pretty recently with some people. I don't think anyone has... the person who supposed that, it was Liz, who you met at 20 Tavern, who you just like, ooh, a solid blood feud move. I texted you, because Liz was mad that you badmouthed Nickelback. That's right, because she's Canadian.
Yeah, she's Canadian.
And I do know she's Canadian. It was the Nickelback was the question part in my head. I do know where my friends live, generally speaking.
Do you?
The country, at least.
Sure.
And she was coming to your show, and so I immediately texted you, and I was like, hey, as soon as you see her, here's a picture. Just give her nonstop shit about Nickelback. And instead, you were so nice to her. It's like the betrayal.
She brought flowers.
Yeah.
She brought flowers, and then they were lore important in the show.
Delightfully wonderful. But so I was a part of a Hear Me Out Dimension 20 thing, and I won.
Who's yours?
Which obviously, we did a bunch of like tiers of ones, and I had some that were like not. I started very like normal, but like one of my prouder ones, Jeremy from Escape the Bloodkeep.
Good, strong start. That's a strong start.
And the one that I think I won on was the Hoopty, because it has handles. And
you're pumping. You're getting in there.
And as we know, there's no like actual bicycle whatever underneath.
Yes,
it's all butt. You're just doing.
It's
butt.
all butt. You're just kind of you're bobbing.
Yeah,
it's a little booty. You've got Tabby there. You've got Tabby who will talk you through it, and then Tabby's sort of little scorecard side, who could maybe give you some updates, might draw you in flagrante delicto. Yeah, the Hoopty's a good call.
Yeah,
there's a lot that could happen then.
It was a fun game, as it always is. Speaking of Tabby, did you know immediately that Jammer was going to be the person that he hated, or did that come organically at the table?
That was very surprising. Yeah, a lot of those like little like, oh, how did they have those? So there were a lot of things that we pre-built, but also like the moment we would finish an episode, I'd be like, okay, I think I'm catching like a bit of this vibe. Let's start to build permutations of other things that might pop up. So yeah, the moment he was like, I don't know. And during the break, I think Lou and Brennan were just like, yeah, I don't know about Tabby. And I was like, perfect. Time to send so many Slack messages.
Because the beautiful thing is that everyone loves Jammer. And then like when Tabby hated him, it was so
in all fairness,
funny.
Tabby didn't start that. Jammer did an earthquake spell on him first and then talked mess to him. And I was like, okay, you guys have to learn that Tabby can hear you.
Yeah.
So like my favorite thing about Tabby, especially as like Evan started like feeling worse and worse about him, I'm like, Tabby matches energy and sends it back. There were like lines that I was sending to Carlos when Tabby was still pre-recorded that I'm like, this is maybe 1 to 2, like it's a slight phrasing shift from something Evan Kelp said in season 1. So if the vibes seem rancid, the call's coming from inside the house. Like,
yeah. Speaking of season 1, I'm crushing these transitions today. I'm feeling so good.
Look, again, I'm going to keep gassing you up so you don't know where we are in our nemesis sort of arc.
Beautiful.
And you're doing a great job.
You were in COVID brain for this.
Yeah. That was rough.
Did you have any idea what was happening when Brennan was like, my father is in the forest and he opens his chest to eat Chris Angel? Because I didn't know what was happening.
I was like,
did I miss an episode? What's happening? And then obviously like D20 put the clip out and I was like, oh, I don't have Brennan's memory. I can't do this.
I absolutely remembered that is a reason that like it was like a part of the callback, and that like I had been sitting on like Kelp lore for a while going like, I wonder when it's going to pop off and come back. There were a couple places where like people's backstories were like automatically plugged in. So all of that was lying in wait. The hardest thing about COVID brain for me, and it was it was really bad in the first episode. And then I think by episode 4 with like the little chunks in filming, because it wasn't like all in 1 week, I'd had enough time and was like better and like be able to do more deep recall. The problem with the like COVID brain fog was I was just forgetting the lore for like what was written for season 2. Everything from season 1 is just like in a different part of my memory, and I'll never let that go. So yeah, it was all the new stuff, and I was like, oh, I don't remember how to pronounce anything. Sort of like Suderoy, I was just like, oh, why did I spell it with like the proper letters? Because I don't remember how to pronounce that D with the asterisk on the top. What is anything? But yeah, when Brennan fully popped off and was like, yeah, we're gonna make a turducken, and I was like, okay, so I know what we're doing here, but are you okay?
I think that's a fair question to ask Brennan almost any time.
But especially when you get to like the count pocket, you're like, okay, you've just you are drift compatible with yourself. You're an Ouroboros of like contempt and brutal efficacy. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And then, he ate the guy.
And then he ate the guy. And then he ate
guys.
And then he ate those guys.
He ate those guys. But I think that's what I mean when I say that like dismantling white supremacy should be in the hands of white people. And for me, what I saw Evan Kelp do in that moment, eating both his own terrible father and Chris Angel was
Biblically
praxis.
accurate Chris Angel.
Biblically accurate Chris Angel was praxis.
The art. Oh.
I feel so angry. It's such good art. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I have to ask you for this. And this has to be the one that like gets notes on it because it's the dumbest goof. Do you see what I mean when I said this was the funny season? Because I'm sitting there going, there's a Grey's Anatomy episode and biblically accurate Chris Angel. I think we've done it. So it was very surprising.
It was very surprising when Evan, I mean, it was Brennan. So like when he was like, how sad can I be?
You gotta swing big.
Yeah. And then Danielle, the audacity.
Absolute stunner.
How dare she?
An absolute stunner.
I messaged her. I think I messaged her, fuck off. I think it definitely started that because I was like, how dare you make me cry so much during an episode? Like
good.
She's so talented.
Yeah. And that was the other really fun thing, getting to come back and do the finale. And I was like, oh, here's a moment where I've wanted to play with the form a bit. And there wasn't really a landing spot for it in the originals as planned. And now we can do this, like, it's time for a one-on-one. Because, like, everything about Sam is so coded to, like, maximize comfort within the group and then let people in their bag take point, and she makes space for that. And I was like, okay, the coolest thing I think we can do going into the beginning of this is really hammer home the part where like Sam has significant trauma, and this is the one thing that cannot be on her friends necessarily to unpack. There is something inside of all of us that has to deal with like that imposter syndrome and go like, if no one can tell you it, maybe like the goat that knows things can tell you, like, it's got to be you and you are capable. You can do this. Like, you have my magic, but you never needed it for that. Go and trust yourself. If this happens, well, it happens because like you insert yourself and take point. And then she like ran with it, and it was so like dramatic and beautiful and lovely, and everyone had such like wonderful, heartfelt like beats that brought their characters like around full circle, which I want to give them a little extra credit. This was a very hard brief because everything that they built was for 4 episodes 3 years ago. So how do you come back to the well and say like, now it's time to grow and change and do more with them, assuming that you did your job in the original miniseries and wrapped up those arcs? Like, what else is there? So everyone crushed it. Danielle absolutely knocked it out of the park. And every time I see like people going like, wow, I didn't know. And I was like, I have that like little point of pride that's like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm glad you're seeing it. I'm not like snobby about it, but like
a little.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of snobby and Danielle, there was a lot of like love, obviously, after the season it came to an end, and she is playing in our one shot.
I'm so excited.
So people were like, "Oh man," and I was like, "Yeah, I didn't choose her by accident." Like, it's like, you think I wasn't? We were only a couple of episodes into the season when I asked her, and I was like, everyone's going to be so high on Danielle at the end of the season. People are going to be so excited that like she's going to be in another game. I was like,
dude, she's the stunt casting. Like, you're like, we got Danielle?
Yeah.
We got Danielle fresh off of her like Oscar, like for your consideration tour de force. Like, incredible. I love it.
Yeah. I think it's Matt Mercer, Jasmine Bular, Erica Ishii, and me, the 4 people who have DM'd for you and Brennan.
Oh, snap! That's amazing. Hey,
I think that's true, right?
That's dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Is there anyone else I can think of? B.D. Walters did for the like. There was a World Builder charity, like level 20 charity games.
Super fun. Brennan made the dumbest mechanical man imaginable of like a Hey Arnold head. I think about it all the time.
So good.
It's the only character I remember, but I think about him constantly.
Mossbrow.
Yes.
I love him so much. And I got to be my little satyr. That was very fun.
5. All right, 5.
Okay, so it's 5.
I'll take it 5.
Hey, look,
5.
you're in a palm full, like, and that's a good squad.
Yeah.
We're so excited. I am so excited. I'm not going to speak for other people, but like, so excited. So excited.
I'm so excited about it. We are at, I'm going to hit refresh on the thing, $5,060 raised.
Amazing. Go off, homie. And all of that's for me, correct?
Yes, that's all for you. That is your appearance fee.
Thank you.
Yes.
Everything past $12,000 goes to doctors.
Yes.
Doctors beyond number, as my mom lovingly calls it.
Amazing. Yeah, I obviously made the terrible mistake. Someone said to me before they knew Brennan was on Citizen Doctor Without Border, and I was like, that's a really funny joke, thinking that they knew because like it was in my Haley interview. I talked to them about like that Brennan was going to be part of the cast, and so I assumed because someone DM'd me this on Instagram, I was like, you saw the Haley interview, and I didn't. I was just like, that's so funny, I'm stealing it, and they're like, yeah, that's or whatever. And I was like, you don't actually know. You don't know Brennan's a part of this. And then I said it to him, and he said he's going to make an Abraham Hermbler version.
I'm so sorry.
Of a witch.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. In his own world. What is he doing? I thought that would keep
He loves chaos.
He does love chaos.
He made the fox in his own world.
That's true. I get to play a donkey.
Do you have your donkey voice picked out?
I want to match his energy in the same like the same way that like the fox matches Ame.
Yeah.
Like, I want like the id of whatever Brennan is doing, and I have no idea what that is yet. And
so stoked.
So it's gonna be I'm guessing a day of decision.
Choosing a thing in the moment does feel very good. You get that like little burst of like, I guess this is what we're doing. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, that's fun. Don't worry. If you ever don't like playing the donkey, just give me the sign. I'll take care of it.
Yeah. Do you want to tease anything about your wizard? You certainly don't have to. If you want to tease anything,
I meant to ask you before we started to be like, how much do you want me to talk about it?
As much as you want. I will say this, because we do text a decent amount now.
Honestly, a lot for me.
Yeah. You responded to an email of mine this week. I didn't know what to do.
That was my
you
one.
didn't do the thing you said you were going to do, but you did respond to an email.
I was like, I'll handle it in the morning, and then I did.
Yeah. Often our texts almost immediately go into voice notes, and I don't know if it's the same for you, but I get so gassed up so quickly in those voice notes.
Same.
And you will have to, in multiple voice notes, you have had to be like, you have to calm down.
But truly same. I like hearing my friends' voices, and I like just all of those, like all that inflection is very fun. And then if you don't have time to listen to it, you could just read it like a normal text. Voice notes are superior, and I love them.
Yes, it's delightful. But we got into voice notes about your wizard, who is a nightmare.
Yes. We had there was a conversation in a fireside chat. I don't remember which friends, so you have to go back and find it yourself, where we were talking about alternate builds for our characters. And I had a big bad idea that day, and then unfortunately started writing mechanics about it. I am so excited to introduce you all to the Wizard Spear, because I feel like the fandom really latched on to the idea that like the Empire is corrupt and the Citadel is evil. And I've been trying really hard with Suvi to like fight for nuance with that, and not anymore. Not with this character.
Nope.
However bad you think they are, I promise they're worse.
Yeah.
This one's so fun. And the spirit that's going to be a part of Spear's armor to begin with, and that's all I'm going to say about that, is I rope-a-doped my darling husband into being like, if you were a spirit in Umora, what would you be like? And I had him like describe it across like a lovely conversation. And I went, bet. And then wrote that down. And I'm like, so now you all know what's happening in that one guy. That's the love of my life. I love him to the point of invention, but my invention can be bad.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. You said the clearing. You said the clearing, not me.
I did. Yeah. No, I did. 100%. That's what I want.
What?
Like, I want it to be bad.
Yes.
Look,
I saw you. I almost made another TikTok, and I was like, oh, it's been too soon since the recent one. I have to do them like every quarter. But the way you impugned my honor when you said, will her wizard survive me? And I was like, oh, the last time someone told me to build a brick shithouse of a wizard because they might not survive it, I built an abjurer so bad that WotC changed the rules. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited. You're about to learn something that only a couple people have learned.
I love that.
And I'm excited for you.
Yeah. I've had quite a few people be like, she's going to wreck you. And I was like, well, I mean, like, she might wreck an encounter, but like, Aabria,
not the story.
Aabria this is the last piece I need for my destruction engine. Like she is the, like, I've seen what you're doing and I am all in on it. Like
I got the 19-page lore doc for Calamity and looked down and saw like the thing like on my list of like stuff that I mess with and I'm building, and the thing that I was ignoring, I was like, arboreal calyx. Interesting choices of words. And then he began it with like, here's a big tree, and I went, understood. I know the shape of the button that I will be pressing at some point.
Yeah. And it was magic. So the rewards for Tiltify, obviously a bunch of rewards. If you want to see the worst wizard imaginable, go donate, you cowards.
Or best. Most wizards, certainly.
Yeah, definitely. No, I want you to be level 20. I want you to be the most nightmare you can be.
I love it. Okay, and then the other thing I'm going to say is my favorite part about this wizard is that like when she goes maximum wizard, she switches classes. So very excited.
Love it. Yeah.
Very excited.
It's so good. Yeah, it's so there's a team level up every $1,000, and then individual level ups are $200 a pop. So you have 2 level ups that people have bought, and we're at 5,000. So you are level 8. Go like today, and we're almost a month out. So
amazing. Dear everyone, please, this is such a good cause. And I do also mean the charity. Do what you can do in your heart so that I can give my very good friends, especially Jordan, who is coming to like DM a bunch of just absolute idiots, and Brennan, who's playing a weird little witch. I just wanna ruin their days. Please help me ruin their days.
Perfect. Yeah. It's gonna be delightful. I can't wait.
It's so fun.
I think I've said it on somewhere, but like my original pitch to you was, hey, you're never gonna get to a high level Wizard of the Citadel
it is
at the speed at which Brennan is moving, and that was before I knew Arc 4 was we're taking a giant break.
It's so funny. It's so funny that you put it that way, and I was just like, well, a stronger case has never been made. Like, I could not be more excited about like this space season. And like we've been talking truly since we began. Like before anyone heard a word of the Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One, it was always the plan to do it for a like finite amount of time, and that was going to switch and like run the second campaign. So that's always been what we were going to do. And we just all got to the point where we're like, oh shit, we have to like do the thing that we talked about. Oh, it's just getting good. Yeah, and maybe that's the right place to like have everyone sort of wrap up the book, coming to terms with like the people they want to be, and you like looking at the like things, even though we've only leveled a couple times, seeing how we began with the children's adventure to where we are now. And as of today, when we recorded this, we have not finished recording Arc 4 yet, so I don't know where these characters are going to end up. It might be a TPK. It might be a mechanical need to stop playing because we all lived in Find Out Land a little more than we expected. But yeah, there is something very, very satisfying about getting to this point of like, oh, these are the people you can become. And then taking a little break and sitting in that and deciding like, let's do our other campaign and have some time to marinate and talk about like the next phase of these characters in their story. And that's it's so exciting and so lovely to like, again, be given time and space to like figure that out and like tell the story the way we want to tell it as it feels most natural and comfortable for the group. So, so good.
So good.
I'm just hoping I get to 5 before we hit the end of the arc. Yeah. Please let me have Fireball. I know how cool it sounds now.
It's so good. Taylor. So good.
Taylor and Jared!
Yes. Yeah.
Constantly so making me so like, wizard. Be more wizard.
Be more wizard. Speaking of space, though.
Yeah.
Space adventure. Let's knock the easy ones right out of the way.
Yes.
Is it 5e?
No.
Is it the Starstruck universe?
I love everyone so much, and I love how much everyone loves a Starcraft Odyssey. It's an incredible season. Why the actual fuck would I run a Starstruck season? 1, why would I run it? 2, why would I run it not at Dimension 20? Like, what? No, you all are very sweet. No. And an addendum to that, also people who are like, I wonder if it's going to be like Kids on Brooms. Like, no, it will also not be in Kids on Brooms. They have Teens in Space. There is a Kids on variant for space. Also not that. I had to add on leveling like and change mechanics for MisMag 2 because like one of the limitations for Kids on is just like how long you can tell the story in the world with characters that don't have like very accessible like leveling. Like how do you sit with them? So no to the second.
Yeah. I'm so excited because, like, obviously, Wizard Wish and Wildman was the first time I got to see Brennan doing, like, no restrictions,
oh my God.
no episode limit. How are you feeling about that being chucked your way of... You don't have to do it in 10, maybe 11, depending on how everyone's feeling day of.
It's like, there's nothing cooler than going, like, I've never had the opportunity to run a really long form campaign. This is going to be new and very exciting, and there's no one I trust and love more than like these people to do this with. And it's also terrifying. It's also terrifying following Brennan when he finds a new ding dang gear and he just keeps doing it. And I'm like, okay, I think I get what Brennan's doing. Okay, if I can figure out this and this, I can figure out how to be good like it. Oh my God, what? And then he just like, it's just the infinite Rock Lee taking off weights. Like, so I'm very, like the little nervous part of my heart is like, how do you follow the Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One? But like, I'm excited and I've got some fun stuff planned. Not just within the like story and the mechanics and how all of that like takes place. And we'll talk more about that as we get closer to the premiere of the campaign, but trying to find ways to get more like audience participation as a part of it. Like how do like, when you have like, when you can see people and now having been inside of Worlds Beyond Number for a couple of years, like seeing how much people make like original characters and like are pitching things for like the edges of the world that haven't been seen yet and like guessing and wondering and creating, you're like, oh, I wonder if there's a world where I can build a sandbox to make that an actual like codified part of the story and the mechanics that we're building. So that's a big part of the lift that I'm working on right now because I want everyone to feel like this story, when a space epic and space operas are done right, they feel unimaginably large and sweeping, and you can fit your own world and your own stories into this universe. I'm trying desperately to figure out how to make that be real for everyone that's going to come and be a part of the story as an audience member or as like the people at the table. So I'm very excited.
It's going to be so much fun. I'm also excited because it will be a different character choice for Brennan. Because it's not a like one shot where he gets to be a chicken with a gun, or like even like, even like a 4-episode like Evan Kelp type. I mean, he still may give you the worst name imaginable.
Yeah,
but
I
like,
assume that at this point.
Yeah, he
Kelp,
can't.
Mahermbler.
Yeah,
It's all violent.
Nicholas Necklace.
Nicholas Necklace Hobb. God damn. That man. And then even Tula, we found out later, is like slang for penis in I think like Argentina. And I was like, please, one season of peace. One, Brennan. Probably not.
But this one, it at least is contradictory to his belief of, if you tell me I've only got 4 hours for a character to exist, it's going to get weird, because it is he's still, I'm sure, going to be a menace, but not a like a chicken with a gun is the correct menace level that he can't be for a long campaign.
100%. God, like, the fact that Brennan hasn't had a really long form campaign to like stretch his legs in, I'm so excited to see. Like, we've had discussions about the thing that he wants to build, and there is something about like DMs to DMs when you start to hear what a DM is asking for as they're building the world. There's something just so fun when you like become drift compatible with a theme or an idea, and you're like, say less. Like, it was why I was so excited to pitch you the Wizard Spear, when I was like, oh, you want something a little more like the clearing. And like, we were talking about like potentially doing an earlier iteration of the Wizard Sky. And I was like, oh, if we want to live inside of like the legacy of the Citadel with a darker turn around it, I have an idea. And I love seeing what DMs turned players like bring when they're like, I think I know what you're going for. Is it something like this? And the things that we've already talked about, I was like, shoot. Yeah, okay. I think you've unfortunately got a very good bead on what I'm thinking about. This is going to be so fun. And just never forget, for every time you name something kind of crazy, I am the Harley Quinn, like, consequences hammer, and I've got you for years, big dog. Like, good luck.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for Consequences Hammer on Brennan Mulligan. Oh, it's the best.
We never met a consequence. Maybe this time.
Yeah. I also love. I don't know if I've told you this. I think. I guess I don't know if anyone actually. Yeah, I've told some people on the internet. Danielle is going to be playing a sorcerer of Gauthmai.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
From one of the high houses.
I think that's the idea. So the idea that I pitched to her was that she is from one of the high houses who's like a full black sheep, which is why she's out like and can join a party of like looking for a way back in, probably.
Yeah.
And I pitched. I was like, what if you had like a Lefu that just follows you around?
Yes.
And she was like, this is so fun. And then at one point she was like, hey, what do like sorcerers of Gauthmai look like? And I was like, you're gonna have to text Brennan. Yeah. No one knows.
Tiny, really tiny, move really fast, make rocks disappear. That's all we got.
Yep, that's all we got. But
that's so fun. Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
If you make a little like Lefu character, can you just, like, even if it's just a little bit of Fergus coding? Because so help me, I spent that whole season going like, do you want to live in your consequence, the person you left behind? And it just kept running so fast that he got exploded.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ooh, Fergus.
Oh,
yeah. I will say one of the ways that I've made the most money in this charity nonsense was letting people name NPCs. I think what I should have done is just been like, it's an infinite amount, and then just like for the first hour is just me listing names that exist in Umora now.
That's actually great.
I set it at 5 at $250 each, and they sold out day one. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to double it to 500, and I'll set 3 more because like there's 6 of you, and you're all like killers. Like I don't need 8 NPCs running around. And though I think 2 of them instantly gone, and I was like, oh man. How was 500 not the amount that it was like too much, too rich for people's blood?
Add more. I'm going to come in just shooting. Like, you two stand back to back. I'm running out of spell slots.
Yeah. It's just going to be every monster is going to introduce themselves before they attack.
Hi, my name is Tavind, and here's my deal. I've played, like, especially when I did a lot more work over at Hyper RPG, all of the, like, hyperdrives were very that focused, where you're, like, playing in real time and, like, earning money with, like, buying. that gets very stressful when they're like, what if we just buy 37 more little guys? And you're like, all right, time for a listicle of a game, I guess. Top 10 people who are in this bar.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
So good.
It was also super fun because when I talked to Brennan, I was like, I want it to be like it's Stone Rail and Hallecker Forest, and it was before that episode had come out.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
I had just like picked that part on the map because you hadn't actually been there yet, and I wanted like the river and things, but I had no like knowledge of it, and so Brennan, obviously you've seen the clip. Brennan saying, "Can I have a donkey for a familiar?" And in my head, I was like, I love it, obviously. Well, why would I say no? But then after I heard, like, oh, it's like a waterfall community, like, oh, a donkey makes sense of, like, you have to travel up and down cliff sides. Like, Brennan, no hesitation, was just like, I got it. I'm building my witch to live at the cliffside. And
that's so fun. That's so fun. Oh, this is gonna be great. I can't wait to hate that character with my whole chest.
Yeah, and then I think I know I told you, like, Haley Whipjack built an artificer, and they're gonna be like your strong boy.
I'm so excited to play with Haley. I've been so like gassed about this for so long. Like, yes, okay, so I'm walking in with a best friend and several enemies. Like, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good.
Wait, what's Christina playing?
She's playing a bard, and originally it was like, I'll do a new song for every $100 raised. And it's like, Christina, you have to.
It has to be more money.
You cannot. You will owe them 1,000 songs. Not an exaggeration.
Oh my God, that's so good. I forgot about that. Oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait to be so condescending about other types of magic.
It's gonna be great.
It's
it's
so
very
good
because like I've been texting with Jack, lore keeper.
Jack is the best. Oh
yeah, and I'm like, hey, how does magic work?
What a fun question.
Yeah, because do clerics exist? I don't think they do.
Nope.
So it's been very fun to try and like figure out how to like incorporate rules of magic I do not have a full grasp on. To like still have it make sense. And I think I've landed on it, and we'll get to that game on January 18th. I probably should have said that at some point.
Edit it under right here.
Yeah,
under both of us right now. I tried to like move my arm like I could extend into your frame. That was what a day. What a time to be alive.
What an amazing! That would be absolutely amazing though if we were sitting next to each other. And you just put green screen up and behind you.
Yeah. We're in our little commune of friends that hang out.
Yes. This is so delightful. I'm trying to see what questions I haven't asked you. The thing that, because I didn't ask you, I don't know what questions I did ask you. But you know what I really love? And this is something that Liz, who you met, has said about your NPCs. When we meet them, they always feel like they're busy. Like we're bothering them. It's not like a video game or like a lot of other NPCs where you meet them and they're just like they've been waiting for you to show up to do the quest. You show up to them and they're like, what? We're doing stuff. Like
I love an NPC that is annoyed that you got their attention and then more annoyed that they haven't been dismissed, so they're still here. Like, unless you've ended the conversation, like, it's my favorite thing in RPGs is how much NPCs get forgotten about by the party. It feels like the trope in like movies and TV shows when people just end phone calls without saying bye, which is the craziest. I tried to do it for a week straight and I felt like a serial killer. Like, just end of thought, click. Okay, now I have to text them back and be like, I'm so sorry. I'm like doing this thing. Okay, it was weird. Oh, what if I just don't text or call anyone again? But yeah. I love it.
And yeah, it's so good. It's delightful. I did write on here, will you kill Brennan? His witch specifically.
Oh, aiming for it.
Yeah.
Aiming for it. Look, I'm going to try to kill the witch, and I'm going to be bandying around the word hedge mage in a way that I feel like the captions will start like asterisking it, like it's inappropriate. You'd be like, oh, you're all a bunch of little hedge mages. That's fun. Sorcerer. Cool. Enjoy your blood quantum world. I have a lot of hot takes about Umora, and then unfortunately, everyone's going to catch this fade.
Oh, I can't wait.
Line to the tower. I am the fewest and the proudest from the Citadel.
So good. I want just like the nastiest wizard.
Like, this wizard is a group project between Malakanth, Gavriel, and Zhao. Like, it's gonna be bad. I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay, it's amazing. Yeah, it was one of those things when you started pitching it to me. I made a video about it where I was like, multiple times you're like, hey, you could say no.
You can say no. You have to say no.
But like, it's the same thing that you like when as soon as like a player like starts like spinning up like that of like, here's a thing I'm really excited about. I'm just like, this is exactly like I'll reset the whole thing. It hit exactly the notes that I wanted it to hit anyway. But I was like, look, I will make a new adventure because this wizard is all I care about now.
And I like, if I know anything about my dice, they really overperform when I am deep in the Citadel bag. So I do also envision a world where I actually roll hot and everyone's really mad about it and be like, these dice are they're not on the side you think they are on. They're gonna be good. They're gonna be good today.
Yeah. Someone did donate to get you a luck point where they're like, we know our dice are cursed.
I just always have exhaustion.
Yeah. Someone gave you a legendary item. So like, I think I texted you. I don't know,
you're like, not wish.
I was like, not wish. Just please don't do wish. That's all. That's the only thing I ask.
That's like that's such a boring choice. No, pick something specific, and then you're like the thing I love the most about wizards in general, and then the way we've built the Wizard of the Citadel, is that it feels like a sniper building their perfect rifle in real time. So I would want something that's very cool, but like so situational that you're like, oh, this shot lined up and no one could have seen it coming. It's like Laren having blight and not knowing that it was gonna be like a tree thing, where you're like, when those moments happen, and you're like, that's what makes it feel like, oh, a wizard, every like high level wizard is Batman. If they are prepared for exactly this, no one has an answer for it. So I'll try to I'll pitch you on some like
great
sort of weird specific things.
Yeah, I love it. And also like doesn't have to necessarily be legendary. It's any non-magic item. Yeah.
It will
great.
be.
Yeah.
Can I have an artifact?
Yeah, I don't care what you take.
Can it be alive?
Sure.
Can you make it sound like Lucas from Burrow's End?
Can I make it sound like Lucas from Burrow's End? You know I can.
So happy.
And
it's my weapon, and I'm like, this is my little weapon. It's his birthday.
And you just throw him at people. I don't know if I should tell, but I'm gonna anyway. Haley had also got a legendary item and chose the belt of whatever the giant strength is. That's the legendary.
Yes.
So is rocking a 29 strength.
Hot. Let's go.
And is an armorer, and I think what I'm going to do is for their attacks, I think they just punch people, but I'm just going to give them like Warhammer stats because like for flavor, like just let them punch like 29 strength and just punching holes through people.
Oh, that's good. I need to reach out to Haley specifically and see if we can do some like cute little coordination if we want to be like buddies, to sort of have like little matching outfits.
I love it. Amazing. An easy one to end on.
Okay.
I mean, I could talk to you forever, but
that's what friendship's for.
Yes,
but I have to go to a
person.
friend's wedding.
Yes. Paul Blart. 2. How you feeling about still being like 2 years in a row now? Travis's go-to
till I die.
Yeah.
Like I am this designated sort of Blart survivor. I'm honored and humbled by the responsibility placed on me, and with all the gravity in the world, I've never been more invested in the survival of a man that I am not related to or banging actively. Nothing must happen to him. Super. I cannot.
Have you seen it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's something special. I genuinely look, I love Worlds Beyond Number. It's really great. I think it's the best actual play that's ever existed, one of the best podcasts that's ever existed. My favorite podcast is Till Death Do Us Blart, Until I Die. Like, every Thanksgiving I'm like, here we go, this is all I want.
It is literally a Thanksgiving tradition in my house. It's so funny. It's very fun living in a world where I've just started noticing more and more how many like little like inside jokes and like house jokes and house songs are like McElroy cuts from way back in the day. And I was like, wow, we've been listening to this stuff for a very long time.
Yeah.
It's just in the DNA.
10 years of Death Blart this year.
Yes.
Absolutely
God.
wild. It's wild they started it the year it came out.
Right? Right?
What an incredible cold shot that worked out perfectly. Absolutely no notes. It's the best podcast.
It is.
But a very close second, Worlds Beyond Number.
I'll take it. There could be a bit of a gap. I know.
Yeah.
We're in the shadow of just legends.
Yeah. It's I can't wait for more. You're off until January 7th.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what you should do on the Fireside Chat the week after that? Plug the charity stream that we're on so everyone donates money.
Good call. Done.
Hooray!
Text me on January 2nd.
Great, will do. Amazing. This has been absolutely delightful. Aabria, as always.
Jordan, this is such a fun, like, it's always so fun to talk to you and like yell and be excited. And I'm so excited to play with you. And I hate you so much and I will kill you. I will be the last thing you see before you leave this world with nothing but regret.
Amazing. I'm taking Travis with me. All right. An honor, not an interview. Bye.
Bye.